morning, ladies and gentlemen, this is Napoleon Total, and we're back with another Scramble for the Far East mod, Shogun 2, Fall of the Samurai, and we are back with the Dutch. In the last episode, we are getting harassed by the Satsuma's retainers. Geishas are just tormenting us, and we don't have a response because for some reason our geishas can't do the same to their geishas, but their geishas can do whatever they want to us. And I can't assassinate their geishas because they're just taking out my assassins, or I should say military advisors. So at this point, my only hope is to end Satsuma itself by just crossing the strait and invading Satsuma, or to be exact, it's more Chosu to be exact, Nagato to be exact. But yeah. As a matter of fact, the crossing will take place right now on this turn. There is a massive Satsuma army in Nagato itself, but the second we cross this, place, we're gonna actually siege it. We're gonna continue the siege of Nagato, and we're just gonna get more troops across. We're gonna have essentially our entire army across. That is not gonna allow the enemy geishas to torment us. I'm gonna see if our geishas can do. Yeah, our enchantment failed. I like how our enchantment fails, but the enemy enchantment always works. Like I don't get it. Like agents for the AI needs to be nerfed because although I can defeat them militarily, like it's always the fact that I can never defeat enemy agents. Like literally, it's a cat and mouse game for my generals and trying to stay alive against the enemy agents. On here, on the Takamishima, I'm actually going to be attacking the Takamishima, and because the enemy have a pretty sizable army, I'm just going to do a night battle. They do have a lot of interesting units, but I'm just going to do a night battle because I can't fight two enemy armies of full melee units at once. They're just going to rush me and kill me down to the very last man, so I'm just going to do a night battle. And yeah, this is the night battle of the Battle of Takamishima. And boy, do I have to admit, this is very beautiful. Like literally, the stars, the skies, and this is extremely beautiful. As we go on, like my entire army, by the way, for those who haven't figured out by now, is East Indies infantry for this army at least. Yeah, this scene is very beautiful. On my left is some of my most elite units, or my Dutch units, but on my right is entirely East Indies infantry. We do have a shrine, and yeah, this is one of the most beautiful scenes I've ever seen in a Total War game. Well, at least one of the most beautiful scenes I've ever seen in a Total War game. And yeah, but the enemy army is quite interesting. They have a lot of Ashigaru and Ronin type units with some samurai in the mix. Our artillery is going to be firing at them right now, and yeah, that's going to be that. The enemy has a quite interesting amount of cavalry, but their cavalry is going to be attacking us on the right flank. I actually formed a square, so the enemy will be charging us right now, but because we're in square, the charge is not going to be that terrifying. Although the enemy are eventually going to break the square, and after they break the square is where the heavy casualties start to mount. But thankfully, behind our square, I have an entire dragoon unit that is just firing at the enemy horses. They've actually broken our square. That's why you see the square collapse, and now our guys are in melee. And we actually are doing quite well against this cavalry unit. On their left, our entire volleys are just opening fire. And the enemy is taking extremely heavy casualties while trying to take this hill. And like I said, my guys are going to be using canister. Some of the canister shots are duds, so they don't really go off. I also have access to our naval bombardment, as you can see right here. These are some massive plumes of smoke, and with the help of the canister, the center has just collapsed for the enemy. Most of their troops are running away. On the left flank, the enemy general decides to charge in, and that just gets him killed. The enemy Naginata samurai is just charging on the left flank, and with bow support they actually do quite a considerable amount of damage. Not until I use suppressing fire, which just forces the enemy away. As a matter of fact, the second the general dies and the second this Naginata unit flees, the entire enemy army just runs away. And yeah, it's a crushing victory. It's a crushing defeat for the enemy. And as you can see, that was the general himself dying. And yeah, eventually I'm just gonna have my cavalry chase the entire enemy army down. But because of time issues, I'm just not gonna show it on the screen. But that said, a very beautiful battle indeed. We destroyed an entire enemy army, and we're just gonna siege out Takamishima. We're gonna continue to siege, and we're gonna see what happens. I do realize I didn't send my agent to Takamishima, but that's alright. And at this point, the most important thing is for me to end the war in Satsuma, or in this case, Chosu. But in terms of income, we are earning 27k a turn, and that's a lot. That is gonna prompt me to prepare an army to invade Korea. And the reason why I want to invade Korea is because the Russians, well, I have to invade Korea to win the game, and because of the Russians. Yeah. But, everything looks to be going well except for in terms of the espionage department. But that's the espionage department. I have never won a single game just using spies. And it looks like we are getting supported at Nagato, since there are friendly armies that also hated Satsuma. They're also going to be attacking the Satsuma and Nagato. So that's a pretty good thing for us. We're going to have a lot of problems. Yay, it's winter. Which means that our army in Takamishima is going to be taking winter attrition. I need to get another fleet out quick. We do have... At first I was just seeing how many armies I can deploy, and I realized that, yeah, I can deploy quite a lot, but I really want to use my allies, or not really my allies, the enemies of the Satsuma. I really want to use their armies, because I don't want to take the heavy casualties. We're gonna see what happens when I attack right now. Okay, so the two reinforcing armies with our two armies are just gonna attack. And once again, a lot of interesting stuff that I see on the battlefield. A lot of good scenery, especially with the wind and the snow. Our guys are Dutch East Indies infantry are just gonna be moving on. And I'm just going to tell you, because of the number of troops that we have on the battlefield, there is going to be a lot of lag. This is probably the most unlaggiest part, but starting from now, you're going to see a lot of lag. This is my Dutch cavalry, and we only have dragoons, and behind them we have our general. But in terms of the reinforcing army, it is truly massive, and most of them are melee units, so that's good for us. Because there is no way in hell I'm going to be storming the walls. And I am definitely going to be using my allies to storm the walls. And as you can see, the enemy army, once again, like I've said, is truly massive. But that is surprisingly only half of the enemy army. Here is the rest of the enemy army. And to give me some more numbers advantage, my own army, that is reinforcing, is also going to be coming onto the battlefield. And yeah. Most of the enemy army, like I've said, are melee units, so that's just going to help with storming the walls. But in this tree line, supporting army for my own army, for the Dutch, is going to be coming out. You can see here I have dragoons on this side, so we're just going to be, yeah. Because most of my army is made up of cavalry, I'm not going to be really assaulting the castle. That said, I will be more than happy to shoot away at the castle walls. And in terms of the castle itself, the castle is truly massive. This is the inner layer, or to be exact, the inner layer. They're surrounded by a moat which you cannot cross, and we have this outer layer which is packed with troops. The enemy in numbers, they only have a third of our numbers, but the main surprise, the big support net they have is the arrow towers. And once again, there's no way in heck I'm going to be assaulting the castle with arrow towers that act not like arrow towers, but like machine guns. So yeah, that's that. Our guys are going to be firing away at the enemy. No surprise right there. And from the enemy's point of view, they're firing just bows at the oncoming forces of our allies, or so-called allies at least. But they're actually going to do quite a lot of damage, especially with the help of the arrow towers, or I should say the gun towers, because, yeah, it's matchlock towers, to be exact. But it's just going to be a matter of time until our allies storm the first layer of the walls. Finally, as we storm through, the first unit through is Katana Samurai, and they're gonna just chop up these bow samurai from the Satsuma. As you can see here, this dude is like preparing to duel with his opponent, and yeah, instantly he cuts him down, and they're just gonna move on to the next unit. In their desperation, the enemy is just going to charge their cavalry in front of our guys, and at first they managed to cut down many of our allies, but as time goes on and as more men just start pouring in, the enemy cavalry is just going to slowly but surely die off. Our allies are just able to charge through, and as you can see, a lot of shaking is going on because, well, this battle is quite massive. And as our allies push on, we can just see our allies just cutting down as many enemies as they can. Once again, Katana Samurai is probably one of the strongest melee units in the game, so it's hard not to get killed. And on this side, as more cavalry is being thrown in, you can see as how many of the enemy cavalry are just the Satsuma cavalry getting slowly but surely chopped up and killed. At this point, the enemy's still sending in katana bowmen, and yeah, it's not good for our enemy. We do have some Katana Samurai from the Satsuma, but their numbers are quite few, and for some reason, our ally Samurai are just somehow way better. Probably because they have more numbers. But as time goes on, we are slowly but surely able just to cut through. And I'm just going to save you the time of watching this entire battle. In the end, we've only lost, our allies only lost 991. Sorry, 911. But we haven't lost a single dude, so that's pretty good. We're going to end, I was hoping to end the Satsuma right here, but we are actually, but sorry, no we're not, because the Satsuma run away. So that's interesting for them. And I'm just gonna have our geisha come over with the rest of our army, and we're gonna see what they can do. We're gonna repair a lot of stuff, and we're gonna upgrade Hooker, Curtis Hooker. And we're just gonna give him, well, yeah, probably more reload. We're gonna ask him to train the troops, but he's just gonna be training the troops next turn. And in terms of Takamishima, it's winter, so I think I'll be continuing the siege. Although we do risk winter attrition as time goes on. But in terms of everything, we're just ready to end the turn, so we're just gonna do that. But in this turn, I am 100% certain that we're just gonna end that Satsuma and their allies. The Satsuma are just gonna run around and terrorize our farms now. It's not the Satsuma farms because we just took it. We just took it from the Satsuma. And the first thing I have to do is end the siege on Takamishima. Our guys are actually taking some heavy winter attrition. So, but so is the enemy. But it's not worth it. I'm just gonna. I think I'm just being more than willing to auto-resolve this because, well, I'm trying to see if I can take out the army from the outside, but no, it doesn't. That's not really a big choice that I have. But I'm just gonna focus on the Satsuma right now. There's one small Satsuma army. It's just gonna run away, no surprise. Or this army can actually chase them down, and we're just gonna annihilate them. Jerome, our son, is actually gonna be doing the honors. Well, Dad is on that Takamishima Island right there. Our son actually gets to level up, so that's amazing. I'm trying to get him the ability to do night battles, which I don't know if he can. But I think logistics is way more important, so we're just going to get logistics first. We do have another general in Nagasaki, which is interesting. But at this point, Satsuma has completely been destroyed. Now we just have to destroy one of its last remaining allies, the Takamishima. And already now I'm starting to find ways to expand. I'm gonna start giving a lot of these provinces military wharfs, and there's not really a big use of upgrading the infantry barracks because, well, it's just not useful. And at this point, I have to start recruiting military advisors because most of my military advisors left to the Satsuma, which they obviously all got destroyed. What a surprise. On this Takamishima Island, I decided, you know what, screw it, we're just gonna auto-resolve it. We lose half our army, which is alright, because this army needs to get some revamping, because we're gonna use this army to invade Korea, and, yeah. We're gonna end this army right now, right here. We're gonna end the Takamishima right here, right now. And we're just gonna use this army eventually to go for Korea. And yeah, so, and this army, because it's going to Korea, I need to give it a lot more new units. And East Indies infantry, although they're good, we need slightly better units. And although I'm gonna recruit some more East Indies infantry, I'm also gonna recruit some like Dutch infantry, like Luxembourg infantry and Limburg infantry. But I'm gonna max out the Luxembourg infantry. By the way, I still have another general in Nagasaki, so that's gonna get interesting real quick, real fast. And I can still get a lot of East Indies infantry. I just don't really. I'm not really. Yeah. But finally, after heavy casualties, we have defeated both the Satsuma and the Takamishima, and that's that. Now we are now in terms of expansion, we're just gonna go east for our armies. Our three, four armies in to the east. We're gonna just move 3 armies to the east to keep conquering whatever they go past. And we're gonna have 2 armies slowly prepare for the army of Korea. For the invasion of Korea, my bad. Yeah. This army is pretty much destroyed, and we do need to reform that army. I'm eventually gonna destroy the Marines that we have. Once again, for all my ports, I'm just gonna do a military wharf, and I have to get my advisors to train the troops. Here, our new general is just gonna get essentially a fleet and a bunch of dudes to run around with. We're gonna be getting steamships, so that's gonna be really cool. And eventually, I'm trying to get ironclads because those things are absolutely amazing. But the Awani, although they helped us in their war and took most of the heavy casualties, I'm just gonna do them a big favor and destroy them. So yeah. The Wakamuni. I'm definitely butchering that name. I'm just gonna auto-resolve this because there is no way in heck we're gonna lose. This army, we're just gonna move it to the border of Iwami, and we're gonna prepare for war against the Hiroshima. The Hiroshima are unfriendly, and that's because we just declared war on their allies. So, welcome this province right here. We're just gonna auto-resolve, like I said, and 129 guys lost for entire city. That's worth it. That's 100% worth it. There is this quote-unquote rebel army, but it's more like we took that place. What is this? I'd rather get upkeep of all troops. Yeah. Not that it really matters, but hey, you save a little bit. Actually, no, you save a lot of money in the short term. In the long term, my bad. This army needs a general, and we have to find a way to get a general for this army. The Hiroshima only have 3 provinces, so we should be fine against them, unless they come out with a massive army. But that's not really the scary part. Well, our faction leader right here. These ships need to get repaired because we need said ships for Korea. Here's a naval base in Bungo that can repair ships. While here, starting to just get a new army raised. This province is unhappy. Just upgrade this commercial farming. Let's upgrade that. We're gonna end the turn. I would have to say that the Dutch have the best position of them all, except for, well, France. Well, it and France have some of the best positions, but in terms of military, France is better than the Dutch. But in terms of the best army in Scramble for the Far East, it's probably the Prussians. It has to be the Prussians. But, yeah, in the campaign, the Dutch really make up for it with the East Indies infantry. The enemy is gonna attack us, which is the most interesting thing I've ever seen in my life. We're just gonna auto-resolve this because there is no way in heck this army is gonna even come close to winning. I've lost only 121 and we've dealt 3,000 and destroyed the entire enemy army, so that's 100% worth it. Eager to serve. Okay, we have a general. Great. and we need the general right quickly because I hope enlist him. Is he? Please tell me he's not in Nagasaki, but he's in the army that we just found. But we are starting to mass up a lot of troops in this army, and this army is going to be prepared for the invasion of Korea. Oh no. Yeah, this general... Okay, Ferdinand and David. So it's Ferdinand and David. Great. I think I'll be sending Ferdinand to go... Sorry, I think I will be sending David to go to Suo, and we're just gonna have him join this army on land. And... yeah. We're just gonna get even more income by doing cottage industry. So that's good. We're gonna train the troops. And we have to raise another army right in Nagasaki for the invasion of Korea. Our Luxembourg infantry are out, so we're gonna just be creating Limburg infantry. So, yeah, that's that. Our faction leader's army is pretty interesting. It's all made up of East Indies infantry, which is, at this point, I'm just gonna swap it out eventually with Dutch infantry once I get to Nagasaki, probably. But like I've been saying, we should be fine. We're at the border of Hiroshima, and I'm interested to see what the Hiroshima have, which they really don't have a lot. This army needs to get quickly onto... Yeah, I was trying to get our general on to land, but it looks like he isn't. But we're gonna end the turn for this turn. And once again, the enemy doesn't have a lot of armies in Aki, so we should be fine for our invasion of Hiroshima. I'm actually wondering what the United Kingdom, the US, and Prussia and Russia, how are they doing? I know Russia has destroyed the Qing, but I don't know if they're with Korea. I guess I'll have to find out once we invade Korea. Learners! I think we should encourage learners. I didn't even bother to see what it was really saying. Get our army offshore and have him join our army right there. And the rest of the fleet should be joining this massive fleet that we have. And we have to repair these two ships and start massing up the biggest new army for our faction leader. At this point, I'm trying to upgrade our provinces so we can get even more income. And the second we can get even more income, we're just gonna skyrocket in economy. And yeah. Once again, this episode, besides destroying Satsuma and essentially Takamishima, is not really that eventful anymore, because at this point we're just getting more and more units. I'm gonna cancel a lot of these units, because I figured out I only need a few more to raise a whole new army. But this army is finally getting replenished with their new general. I like how those two generals both have bearskin caps, so that's interesting. But around Aki, there's actually quite a big army, at least on paper. But yeah, let's see what this fleet can do. But that said, that is pretty much it for this episode, guys. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Now before you leave, I would like to thank you very much for watching this video. I would be honored if you could like and subscribe to the channel. Remember, more videos are coming out, so it is a good idea to click on that notification button. Anyways, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.